Hey, everybody, it's Kat. Welcome back to the She Blooms podcast, where ambitious women gather for honest conversation and powerful insights as you seek to live your most joyful life. Today, we're chatting about summer and 5 different ways that you can build more clarity and more joy that will last you from this season into the next. I am so glad that you've joined me today. I love summertime. It has a way of slowing everything down and inviting us to step off the treadmill of life and settle into a gentler rhythm. And sometimes the pace might feel a little fast going from picnic to picnic and all the summer activities. But at the end of the day, summer offers us such a wonderful time to just reflect and glean some helpful tips on how to create more clarity and more joy. So, picture your favorite patch of grass in the park, your favorite balcony, the sunset. Maybe you're on a quiet beach. Maybe you've flown around the world, or maybe you're just here in the Pacific Northwest for a staycation. Wherever you're at today, we're going to lean in to how the summer makes us feel and use that feeling as a guide to propel us to more clarity and more joy. So to me, summer is a season of spaciousness. It offers a chance to just press pause for a second on the deadlines and the to-dos and the meetings and the quotas and all the demands of the normal rut. And it offers longer days and softer evenings where we get to gain more space for relaxation, time with friends, and more importantly, self-reflection. And when we let our mind rest, we actually create room for fresh insights, for new ideas, and deeper clarity about what truly matters. And so, in this podcast, I'm going to walk you through 5 powerful questions designed to help you capture the summer calm and then transform it into real understanding. So, as you listen, feel free to grab a journal or your phone notes, and you might pause the episode at any time if something lands and resonates with you. Just jot down your thoughts because the goal is definitely not perfection. The goal is honest reflection. Okay. So let's start off with the first question. What lights you up every single day? And by that, I mean, come from a place of pure gratitude. Think back on the moments that just fill you with so much joy. And maybe it is just in the past week where you've realized, like, oh, that morning coffee, watching the sun filter through the window. Or maybe it's time that you spent with your girlfriends. Or maybe it's taking time away from your normal day. I call it a pattern interrupt, where you can feel the rhythm of your feet in a trail or maybe by poolside, something maybe that you've tried new. But think about, like, in the past week or month, what lit you up in the day? Because these simple pleasures, they're footprints of your real, true, authentic self. And then when you get back into the grind and life speeds up again, you can return back to this list to remind yourself of what really, really nurtures your spirit. Question 2. Where do I crave more ease? And I mean, like, bring your mind to the areas of your life where energy just seems to leak out. Maybe it's, your workday just feels so endless, and you look up after 5 hours and you realize, like, you haven't even had a moment to breathe. Maybe you find yourself just scrolling on social media and it leaves you feeling restless or depressed or maybe uninspired. And I'm not here to assign blame. I mean, I definitely have been there too, just in the doom scroll. And then all of a sudden you're like, gosh, I just wasted an hour of my day. But this is not to assign blame at all. This is just to simply notice and name what felt heavy. And the important part about this is that when you imagine these small shifts that can lighten the load, all of a sudden your brain starts offering you, like, places where you can make a change, make a shift. Maybe that's setting a clear time for when your workday ends, meaning you are diving in, but when that workday is over, you have that clear boundary in your mind. And I love 90-minute intervals of work and then getting up and like taking a stretch, taking the pup for a walk, getting a drink, keeping myself hydrated and getting good food in my body that helps restore me so that when I go back into my next 90-minute sprint, like I feel rejuvenated and refreshed. Maybe you could have more ease by lessening the screen time, like maybe every hour or every evening before you go to bed, you just set aside that hour where you just don't have any screen time. Or even asking for support for household tasks. That can create an easier sense of flow. And what will happen is you can embrace this practice that you deserve, not just for vacations, but embrace these little practices that you can take when you go back from vacation and you return back home. Question 3, what goals will shape my next season? And you guys, I love the feeling of being present, feet in the sand or in the grass, and all the wonderful things that summer has. It's kind of its own pulse, I guess. But if you can allow that energy to fuel your vision for like what comes next, and maybe that's just what comes next for the rest of the summer, but maybe look back on any goals that you set earlier this month or even this year and really think about like, oh man, where were those victories? I mean, big or small, and celebrate those victories. And then you can dream fresh dreams about, okay, what do I want to accomplish before summer or before autumn arrives? Maybe you've been talking about launching a project or writing a book or deepening a skill, or maybe you're curious about a new hobby. Carve out time to just think about all of that and let your dream like come to life. Notice what excites you the most, and then maybe just write down a couple intentions that make you feel inspired and, things that might be achievable. When I think back on like, oh, I said that I wanted to do that early in the year, sometimes it's easy to just get back into that, like, it feels like more of a to do instead of a to be. But, it's a good time to really think about like, is this still important to me now that I'm 6 months into the year? And if it's not, just let it go. It's okay. I mean, but if you've been working on it, celebrate those victories. And if you need to refine it, do that too. Because anything that is moving you towards progress feels like happiness inside. And then the fourth question is, what truly matters in your heart? And one of the things that I love about seasons is a lot of time the seasons will bring a different ritual. And if you can take maybe a quiet moment of your summer vacation, staycation, or just summer moments, you can reconnect with your deeper purpose and think about like, beyond the lists and the routines, what really gives your life meaning. I mean, maybe it's offering kindness in your community, volunteering. Maybe it's making art, sharing laughs, being with loved ones. I mean, there's so much when I think about this, what truly matters in my heart, and how do I nurture that and cultivate that more so that I just feel more clarity about what this life is about, but also more joy in my life. So think about that, like what truly matters, and let that surface, to your pen and paper. Write it down, whatever comes to mind right now. And the cool thing about this exercise is that when you align your everyday action with what matters most to you, it gives you this sense of peace and direction that will last long beyond the vacation or even the season of summer. And then the last question is, what simple habits would support me every day? Or, in other words, what would make me feel supported every day? So, imagine your ideal post holiday routine. You came back from vacation, you feel energized. And now, from sunrise to bedtime, what little practices would help you carry that summer clarity forward? I love things like just a quick 2-minute breathing pause every morning, box breathing, or just taking the time to lay down on the floor and put your feet on the couch and just sit with your breath or sit with the stillness. Maybe it's the midday walk to reset your energy. Maybe it's 10 minutes of journaling every night as you wind down. And the habits should feel like super joyful, not forced, right? I mean, change happens from a place of love, not feeling like you have to or obligation. But write these things down and then maybe track them for the next 30 days and let these gentle little rituals that you've decided become second nature to yourself. And you'll find that you're more grounded and you're more focused and you feel more confident. And one of the things that I started doing like 90 days ago that I'm so glad that I did it is I started this new mantra of I am a woman who takes excellent care of herself. And you guys, this one little statement totally changed everything for me. I mean, it changed when I go to bed. It changed what I do before I go to bed, the way that I have self care, the way that I hydrate myself, the way that I give myself better nutrition, the people that I'm around, the times where I feel, just super present and aware of like just the little things every day. And it just kind of started by asking myself, well, what does a woman who takes excellent care of herself do? And I was like, oh, she gets sleep. Like she checks out and says, all right, peace out, everybody. I'm heading to bed for my nighttime ritual of a hot shower and, a nighttime routine and enjoying candles and, luxurious baths and just little things, reading a good book and texting a friend how much I love them. I mean, it doesn't take much and you're already spending that time anyway. One of the things that I think about is my mentor had told me, everything that you do is a vote for either the woman that you're becoming or you're going to stay the woman that you've been. And so when I think about I am a woman who takes excellent care of herself, it just makes it so much easier for me to lean into those things of that identity. And it's not, again, it shouldn't be a lift. And I feel like sometimes we might make it be like, oh man, that's just one more thing. Like I don't have time to do this stuff. And I'm telling you, girl, you absolutely do. Because this hustle culture and this like ignoring your own self, it is not sustainable and it's not good. I mean, I don't even know how else I can say it. Like it shows up in like two ways. It shows up internally in how you feel inside. If you're feeling like you're tired all the time and you're feeling depressed or you're feeling numb or you're feeling like, I'm just not myself. This is a reflection of not giving yourself good care, but it also shows up externally on how you show up to the people in your life. Because if you are not taking care of yourself, you absolutely can't take care of anybody else. And, one of the things that's changed for me this summer is I get to take care of my grandbabies on Tuesdays. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so fun. But it also requires me to like, be at their house when their mom leaves in the morning. And so that's really, really early. And so I had to check myself and say, okay, what does a woman who takes excellent care of herself do? And I realized that for me, instead of waking myself up early and trying to like, oh my gosh, it's 5 in the morning, I got to get on the road. I just decided that after I leave one of my favorite times of day, which is my Monday night dance class, I'm just going to get in my car and I'm just going to drive to their house and do a sleepover. And that 1 hour commute gives me a time to just wind down, like relive the class all over in my head and think about like all the wonderful moments I had with all these amazing, powerful women, all my 60 of my best friends in one room. But it also gives me a chance to think about like, how do I create magic for those little people in the morning? And how do I wake up rested and like pour all my energy into making that time with those guys so good? And it transforms me too. And so I know that if I'm a woman who takes excellent care of herself, I can do like these little decisions, these little shifts that vote for how I show up externally to the people that I love. And so if you're thinking to yourself, and I've had this thought before, it is my old self telling me like, girl, no, there's too much to do. You don't have that time. You can't make that change, or that's just going to be, like too hard. I am here to tell you it is so not too hard. It's just different. And earlier today, I was talking to one of my girls and we were chatting about like, Oh my gosh, we were just talking about like things that we don't know how to do. And she was like, I don't know how to look for a job. I don't know how to redo my LinkedIn profile. I don't know how to do all this stuff. And it's just like, it's not that, it's hard. It's just that you haven't done it yet. And isn't that a wonderful thing? Like, there's so many things that you have done that you're so awesome at and you're so good at. But this one thing over here, you haven't learned yet. And that's okay. I mean, that's the joy of it, right? Like learning something new and being like, okay, and we were talking about like, okay, we're gonna get together and just like put together a banging LinkedIn profile. And sometimes like just boosting that confidence is simply reaching out to someone. And I was telling her, like, you know how much joy you have, like when you help somebody else? Don't deny somebody that when it comes to helping you, because there's so many people that would love to help you. And so when I think about these mantras and when I think about these little rituals and these questions, you know, Albert Einstein said, if I had 50 minutes to solve my biggest problems, I would spend 49 of them asking myself the right question. And so that's why I love these five powerful questions so much, because when you just take this time, when your nervous system is calm, you guys, when you've spent some time in the pattern interrupt and you've enjoyed what summer has to offer, like this is the best time to ask yourself these powerful questions on how you can take this and cultivate more clarity, more joy, more love, more all the things in your life, not only for the rest of the year and the rest of summer, but how do you cultivate that more into this next season? So that's my big podcast topic of, giving summer the opportunity to give us the space to breathe, to notice, to plant seeds for our next chapter, to trust your inner wisdom, who she already knows the way, by the way. All you need is that moment of stillness to listen, but then also to understand, like, oh my gosh, you have all the answers. You just have to ask the right questions. So thank you for sharing this time with me, you guys. If this episode resonated with you, please consider sharing it with a friend or maybe somebody who could use a little summer shift and a reset. And you can find more inspiration at the sheblooms.us website or hit me up on Instagram at Kat Dowrey. And until next time, you guys, keep soaking up the sunshine. Honor what fills you with joy and love and step forward into progress, big or small, with clarity, confidence, and joy. I love you guys so much. We'll see you next time.